Do you have a habit, hobby, or exercise program that you were once super dedicated to and now you don't do at all? That's the position that I'm in. For the last year and a half, I've been kind of sitting at idle, not making progress on the things that I once called goals. And this week I got fed up with it. So I want to share 3 things that I learned this week that helped me get back on the horse, and I think could really help you all too. All right, I'm getting it set up here for my first ride on the bike, outdoors. I've ridden it on Zwift quite a bit, but yeah, this is the messy start. The first, and I'd say most important step that I took this week was just getting started. I feel like there's so much friction when it comes to getting started on something that you haven't done for a long time. For me, that's getting back on my road bike and just going for a ride. I had so many little things that I needed to do. I wanted to get new bike shorts because I actually don't even have bike shorts. Put my bell back on this new bike that I got. I also need a new helmet. And these things have been limiting me from going biking. It's honestly super silly that some maybe 20 to 30 minute tasks have been stopping me from even pursuing the thing that I wanted to do. I think if I had just chosen to start a long time ago and just get the bell out, try to put it on. And I didn't need the bell, but I think that's another point here is if you're excited to do something that's gonna get you started, like installing a bell, just do it. It doesn't matter where you get started. It doesn't matter if I'm only gonna go for this one ride for now, and I don't have a grand scheme of how many miles per week I wanna ride and anything like that. I think just getting out there is all that really matters if you haven't been out for a long time. And another funny thing with friction is I even have friction when it comes to thinking about all the times I could have gone biking and I didn't. It's like the more days that go by not doing the thing, the more friction there is to actually doing it again because you feel like you've lost so much progress. Luckily for me, I actually used to be more of a runner. I had ran a couple marathons when I got injured 2 years ago, and that's what really caused me to fall completely off track. I didn't just stop running when that happened, and I also didn't even go to PT. I kind of just threw all the babies out with all the bathwater. I had been training 4 days a week for running and also rock climbing. I wasn't drinking on weekdays. I wasn't spending too much time on my phone, and it was really funny. I started moving in the exact opposite direction that I had been for so long. This bike ride, surprisingly enough, it was only 14 miles, I think, but getting out here in this new place that I live and exploring a new trail without all the pressure of needing to hit a certain mileage or certain pace or heart rate zone, it totally reset something within me. And that reset that you get from just getting out and doing the thing is the foundation that I used to build to point number 2. Which is to prioritize what needs to be done and don't worry about the rest. Once I overcame the friction of just getting started, a million other things popped up. Everything came flooding back of wanting to do this ride or that ride, and the goals that I had to complete triathlons, and wanting to get sick gear and travel, and it all came back. And there's so many things I could do. I could reconfigure my derailleur. And I think, once you've overcome that friction of just getting started, prioritizing what you need to do to continue doing that activity and maybe even a little bit of direction of how you want to go about it is really all you need. You just need the next 1 or 2 or 3 steps and then try to forget about all those other ideas. I'm definitely someone who can set lofty goals, which can be a positive sometimes, but I think when you're overcoming that friction and just getting into something, it can be really overwhelming to let all of your own expectations for all the things you could do or that you should have done creep back in. I really tried to just go for a ride, not pay attention to those things. And after that ride was over, I definitely still want bike shorts and I definitely need to adjust my derailleur. But I think what's actually important to me is having the time and energy and gear to be able to go for longer bike rides, really enjoy myself and start building back some base mileage. So to do that, I decided that I should probably start meal prepping again. And I've also never owned bike shorts. And it seems like bike shorts and meal prepping, and also probably some PT for my injured body parts, are the 3 things that are most important to keeping this whole show moving forward. So coming out of this ride, I decided those were the things I'd prioritize. I'm not going to try to get any new gear besides bike shorts. And the third thing I learned this week was actually also kind of about friction, but maybe in an opposite way. Now that I had the ball rolling, I'd made it out for a ride and a run and been doing really good PT, I realized there were things that weren't causing any friction to me getting out and exercising, but were actually so frictionless that they would sneak their way in and take away from my time and my energy to get out and do the things that I knew I should be doing. Those things for me this week were drinking beers after work, being tempted to go eat out instead of putting in the effort to meal prep, going down different little rabbit holes instead of focusing on the things that I had said earlier. And I think this can be summarized as being willing to tell yourself no. I think telling myself no is one of the hardest things I have to deal with on a weekly basis. So, in summary, the way that I got started this week was I just got started. I celebrated the small wins that came along, whether it was putting my bell on or just getting out the door, looking for a nice helmet. Once I was moving, I prioritized what the next step was. I'm really trying to narrow in on just meal prepping, doing PT, getting out the door. And then finally, I need to tell myself no. I know when there's something that I shouldn't be doing or that's taking away from the more important things out there. But I think by the end of the week, once I had prioritized what I wanted to work on and had actually gotten started on it, it feels so much easier to say no to the things that don't add to that. So I hope you liked the video, and if you want to see more content like this, I will be upping the training and going for many more adventures. Thanks for watching. 13.9 miles. Pretty good. Very nice out. Let's go for a little sightseeing.